This is Thinker's Corner. Here is the full list of internally generated revenue, IGR, for Nigerian states and the FCT, ranked from highest to lowest. Number 1, Lagos, 1.26 trillion naira. Number 2, Rivers, 317.30 billion naira. Number 3, FCT, 282.36 billion naira. Number 4, Ogun, 194.93 billion naira. Number 5, Enugu, 180.50 billion naira. Number 6, Delta, 157.79 billion naira. Number 7, Edo State, 91.15 billion naira. Number 8, Akwa Ibom, 77.77 billion naira. Number 9, Kano State, 74.77 billion naira. Number 10, Kaduna State, 71.57 billion naira. Number 11, Kwara State, 71.20 billion naira. Number 12, Oyo State, 65.29 billion naira. Number 13, Bayelsa State, 64.01 billion naira. Number 14, Jigawa State, 59.46 billion naira. Number 15, Osun State, 54.77 billion naira. Number 16, Cross River State, 47.20 billion naira. Number 17, Anambra State, 42.69 billion naira. Number 18, Abia State, 40.01 billion naira. Number 19, Katsina State, 39.15 billion naira. Number 20, Ekiti State, 35.21 billion naira. Number 21, Niger State, 34.66 billion naira. Number 22, Bauchi State, 32.31 billion naira. Number 23, Kogi State, 32.01 billion naira. Number 24, Ondo State, 31.25 billion naira. Number 25, Plateau State, 31.14 billion naira. Number 26, Borno State, 27.80 billion naira. Number 27, Nasarawa State, 25.56 billion naira. Number 28, Zamfara State, 25.46 billion naira. Number 29, Imo State, 25.27 billion naira. Number 30, Sokoto State, 20.85 billion naira. Number 31, Gombe State, 20.72 billion naira. Number 32, Benue State, 20.43 billion naira. Number 33, Adamawa State, 20.30 billion naira. Number 34, Taraba State, 17.46 billion naira. Number 35, Kebbi State, 16.97 billion naira. Number 36, Ebonyi State, 13.18 billion naira. Number 37, Yobe State, 11.18 billion naira. The total IGR for all states and the FCT is 3.63 trillion naira. Note, the FCT is not officially a state, but is included in this ranking. Lagos dominates the IGR landscape as usual, generating over 1.26 trillion naira, about one-third of the total IGR of all states. This was made possible through its private sector-driven economy and effective tax management policies. Enugu State shows impressive growth, ranking 5th with 180.50 billion naira, setting a new pace of economic growth through electronic means. Some states, such as Yobe and Ebonyi, continue to struggle to generate significant revenue. On the other hand, the federal government generated 21.6 trillion naira as internally generated revenue, more than 6 times the combined IGR of the 36 states and the FCT. This clearly shows the massive gap between federal and state revenue capacities. The total internally generated revenue of all states and the FCT in 2024 was 3.6 trillion naira, representing a 49.7% increase
from 2.43 trillion naira in 2023. In reality, this growth is not impressive. Nigeria needs restructuring. Imagine the entire 36 states and Abuja could not generate 1/3 of the federal government's IGR in 2024. In a progressive country, states' IGR should surpass every other source of government revenue. It is the states that should be feeding the federal government and not the federal government paying states' salaries. That's why the governors are lazy. None of them wants to embark on long-term projects like agriculture because it takes up to 5 years for some crops to mature. The quickest thing they do is the construction of short roads and 1 or 2 flyovers, then pay salaries, and the people will clap for them. Good governance is beyond the construction of roads only. Most governors lack ideas to create lasting wealth for their states. They are mere politicians and not businessmen, so they simply copy projects that are trending. Flyovers, bus terminals, ICC, BRT systems, and now the so-called smart schools, and they are even copying wrongly. That is why you will see a state with big potential but unable to generate tangible IGR. This shouldn't be happening. If the states are allowed to take care of themselves and secure their own land, Nigeria's economy will blossom. No bank will lend you money if you have nothing to pay back, so the only option is for the state to hustle until it succeeds. This unitary system of government has incapacitated Nigeria since 1967. It is high time we restructure the country. Federal government doesn't have the capacity to run the affairs of the entire country. That's why several mineral resources are lying fallow underground. Imagine the number of years Enugu coal was abandoned.
While China made over 17 times the amount Nigeria earned from crude oil sales in 2024, the country produced coal worth $573 billion that same year. This single-year figure is more than Nigeria's total crude oil earnings in the past 2 decades combined. Even South Africa, which ranks 7th among the world's coal producers, made about $28.2 billion in 2024, nearly equal to what Nigeria realized from crude oil. Can you see now that crude oil is overrated, especially when compared to the vast potential of other mineral resources?
The same Enugu has a large deposit of oil and gas, but the past leadership of the country preferred to look for oil in other regions where it is either not available or not in commercial quantity. They wasted a lot of money doing this. If they truly had Nigeria's economy at heart, would they be so careless? That's the disadvantage of Nigeria's version of the federal system. Every state should be allowed to control what it has.
A state doesn't need crude oil to be rich, and the lack of it should never be an excuse for poverty. In Dubai, the oil and gas sector contributes less than 1% of the Emirates' GDP today. Dubai depends mainly on tourism, trade, real estate, and financial services. Each emirate that makes up the United Arab Emirates controls 100% of its own natural resources and land. Dubai and Abu Dhabi only contribute an agreed amount to support the poorer emirates. This is the system Nigeria should emulate to avoid poverty, insecurity, and possible breakup.
How can mineral resources such as gold, coal, oil, and gas be placed on the exclusive legislative lists where states cannot explore their own resources? This will continue to limit investment opportunities and leave most states relying mainly on federal allocation. Enugu recorded a massive jump from 37.4 billion naira in 2023 to 180.5 billion naira in 2024. This is unprecedented. The Enugu State government attributes this to expanded tax coverage, digitized payment systems, and e-ticketing platform that channels all revenue into a single account, eliminating corruption. Southeast IGR Ranking 2024.
1. Enugu, 180.50 billion naira. 2. Anambra, 42.69 billion naira. 3. Abia, 40.01 billion naira. 4. Imo, 25.27 billion naira. 5. Ebonyi, 13.18 billion naira.
The total for the other Southeast states is 121.15 billion naira. Enugu alone accounts for about 59.8% of the Southeast total of 301.65 billion naira. Despite having cities with commercial strength and several tax reforms, Abia and Anambra have not posted significant growth and continue to fall below expectations. Imo remains stagnant, even though it receives the highest federal allocation in the Southeast due to its higher number of local government areas.
Imo State currently stands as the highest recipient of the 13% oil derivation in the Southeast. Between January and May 2025, Imo State received a total of 14.48 billion naira from the 13% oil derivation fund, averaging about 3 billion naira monthly. If this trend continues, Imo State could earn around 36 billion naira from oil derivation alone by the end of 2025. When this amount is added to the state's internally generated revenue, the total could exceed 50 billion naira for the year. All the oil-producing states are receiving about 6 times more than what was allocated to them in 2024. This will significantly boost their IGR. Enugu's IGR in 2025 could still be 10 times higher than that of Imo State, but I see Imo jumping to the second or third position in the Southeast.
Ebonyi's performance has also fallen sharply from 30 billion naira recorded in 2023. Only shined for 1 year and now back to where they used to be.
Enugu State, the emerging powerhouse. Just as oil-producing states receive 13% derivation, Enugu gets 13% derivation from coal, while the federal government takes 87%. This may look small, but it adds up strategically. Enugu is the first state to control its own power generation, distribution, and marketing. A bold move enabled by the new electricity law signed by the president in 2023. Governor Peter Mbah, a successful entrepreneur, knows what opportunity looks like. While other governors are still confused about taking the first step, Mbah is already 3 steps ahead. When he said he will grow Enugu's GDP from $4.4 billion to $30 billion, he meant it. The sharp rise in Enugu's IGR can be seen in massive infrastructural development, which includes advanced security with AI-embedded surveillance cameras across the state and on DRS police vehicles, the establishment of farm estates, industries, and world-class storage sites, the distribution of free fertilizers and seeds to farmers, and the construction of the longest road project in Nigeria by any state government, over 1,000 kilometers, many of which are virgin roads with the intention to interconnect farm estates and rural areas to the city. The completion of the International Conference Center, Enugu, has boosted the state's conference and hosting capacity. The establishment of 5 modern bus terminals and the procurement of 100 CNG buses for the new BRT system is a strong financial and tourism strategy for the state. More buses will be procured soon. The completion of the International Hospital Enugu, the upgrading of Park Lane Hospital, and the construction of 260 healthcare centers in every ward has boosted the state's healthcare tourism potential and made healthcare affordable and accessible to all, regardless of financial status. The revamping of Nike Lake Resort by Landmark Group, the revamping of the Presidential Hotel, and the construction of a 350-room ICC 5-star hotel in Enugu has further boosted the tourism and hospitality potential of the state. 4 more mega hotels will be built next year, as announced by the governor. The Akanu Ibiam International Airport Enugu has also been concessioned. Enugu Air will acquire 6 additional aircraft before the end of the year and commence regional flights to West African countries in the first quarter of 2026, with the international wing and cargo terminal also scheduled for commissioning. This will further boost the state's IGR significantly.
Governor Mbah can predict where the state will be economically in the next 5 years, something most other governors cannot. While others are busy building roads and outdated flyovers, Enugu is quietly building an economic fortress. In education, Enugu is rewriting the narrative. For a governor to dedicate 33% of the state budget to education, surpassing the UNESCO 25% benchmark, and build over 260 smart green schools with free transportation, free uniforms, 1 free meal per day, and futuristic learning equipment where robotics and mechatronics are taught shows Dr. Mbah's intentionality. His clear vision is to raise future entrepreneurs and scientists for Enugu State and Nigeria at large. This rising IGR base will sustain the smart school program because that's where the salaries of over 18,000 smart teachers will come from. No other state can attempt this, because they lack both the intention and the financial capacity. The Southwest and South-South zones lead in total revenue. The Southeast recorded the highest growth rate. Enugu is now firmly on the map as a rising economic force in Nigeria. Its IGR by the end of 2025, as announced by Governor Mbah, is projected to surpass 500 billion naira. This figure will automatically place Enugu in second position behind Lagos. And I see Enugu becoming the first state to cross the 1 trillion naira mark after Lagos. This will definitely become a reality when all the farm estates are fully functional and the tourist sites are completed. Dr. Peter Mbah, who recently joined the APC due to marginalization of the Southeast by the PDP, announced that Enugu will start receiving 3 million visitors yearly starting from 2026. Can you imagine what that can do for the economy of the state and the country? The state is also preparing for Dirty December events. Undoubtedly, Enugu is on another level. The internally generated revenue was published by the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS. You can look it up. I'm not the one who made it up. It was thoroughly verified from state to state before publishing. That's why the figures some governors verbally announced did not reflect in this publication. Niger State, for example, there is a huge difference between the 600 billion naira announced and the 34.66 billion naira published by the NBS. For the Enugu people and Dr. Peter Mbah's admirers, indeed, our tomorrow is here.